The new school year coming more quickly than many know, and when it comes to helping your kiddos start the school year healthy and ready to go, we have you covered. Supermom of 4 extraordinaire, ready for back to school, Erica Arias in Studio 61 with more. Hey, Erica.
Yeah, Keith, good morning. Yeah, we are getting there for sure. Joining me right now in Studio 61 is Dr. David Howlett from SoNE HEALTH in East Granby. We're talking back to school checkups, vaccines. They're so important to prioritize the kids' health before they head back to school. Doctor, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. And thanks for having me.
Sure, absolutely. Great to have you here. All right, so let's talk about what we can do as parents to sort of ease the concerns that kids might have just going to the doctor's office.
Yeah, so one of the first things to do for parents that's very helpful for the doctor is to get the form from the state of Connecticut, the health assessment form, and complete that, because that gives us a good feeling and a good start as far as what issues that we're going to talk about. Do they have vision problems, hearing problems? Have they had sports injuries? Have they had concussions? Things of that sort. ADHD, asthma, diabetes, and also family history. So when that first page is completed, it gives us a good start to now go on further with the exam and to see the children.
Yeah. The parents want to make sure the physician is informed with everything that they need, right?
That's true. That's true. But there's a lot of things that we actually cover that's really not on the form, and that's where we have at least a half hour and sometimes 45 minutes with a one-to-one conversation with the children and with their parents who are generally with them.
Now, what are your suggestions for parents as we get our kids ready to come to the doctor if they know they're going to get a vaccine, they're a little squirmish, right?
Yeah.
Most kids don't like to get a shot.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I've been doing this for 41 years, so I've seen a lot of these kids over and over and over again. And you have the whole gamut. Some kids who don't mind getting a shot, and some kids who want to run out of the room. So parents have different ways of dealing with that. Some parents won't tell them they're getting a shot, and other parents will prepare them 2 or 3 days ahead of time.
What do you think is best?
So I think it's good to prepare the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they don't have the trust.
Like
They need to have the trust.
That's a really good point.
That this is going to happen. So, but most kids, after a period of time, accept the shots very nicely.
Talk a little bit more about the vaccines that are required. What do parents need to keep in mind?
So the vaccines, you can get actually from the state of Connecticut on the website, you can get the whole list of required vaccines, and also they're on this form. The required vaccines are safe and effective, and they've been formulated and they are given in such a way that they are effective. Some parents sometimes don't want to give the 7 vaccines all at once and want to space them out, but they're not effective that way. They have to be given in a certain way, and then they become more effective and you get more antibody response when they're given that way. So parents accept the vaccines that are required by the state. There are some vaccines that are not required. There's the HPV vaccine that's not required, and that allows a conversation with the parents, when do you want to give it, if you want to give it at all.
All right, let's talk about the flu shot.
So the flu shot is required from 6 months to age 4 for the children to go to school. After that, it's highly recommended. Over 20,000 kids in the U.S. Under the age of 5 are hospitalized from complications of the flu. So giving them the flu shot is important. I've actually had an interesting case with a family. 4 people came in, they had the flu. 2 had the flu shot, 2 did not. The 2 who had the flu shot were sitting and talking and chatting.
But they had the flu.
And they still had the flu.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were just writhing on the table in pain with high fevers and unhappy. So the flu shot really does work.
All right. Anything else to parents that you want to let them know before we wrap things up here?
So when I'm talking with the children, we're talking about diet and exercise and fruits and vegetables and their activities in school and their interaction with their peers and their interaction with their families. We're talking about safety. We're talking about many different issues with the children there with the parents. And one of the things I can see, from the parents and from the child is if the child is looking at me and interacting, and what the parent's interaction with the child is. So we get a lot of information about the child there and how well they may do in school. We talk about bullying. We talk about screen time. And screen time is a big thing.
Yeah, oh
and
yeah.
it's really important to get the kids off the screens. There are recommendations for that. You know, under age 2, they should not be on a screen. Up to 2 and 5, 1 hour. And after that, 2 hours maximum, unless they're doing homework on
What
it.
about the teenagers? Because that's a battle in my house.
That is a battle. And
It is. It's never ending.
yeah, and so there's a lot more that goes on when you do face-to-face
Oh,
and
yeah.
get these kids off the screens. And this is what we should be doing, preparing them for school. Getting them back to a routine, get them off the screens, get them back to sleep, waking up at the time that school's going to start, so that first day of school, they're not shocked and they're ready to go make a good impression on their teachers and, you know, be there and do a good job and be successful.
One more quick question might settle debate in my house. Selfishly, I'm asking, what about breakfast? Because my kids say they're not hungry in the morning.
Yeah.
And I said, no, you need a good breakfast. You need to eat something.
Yeah.
So speak to that, doctor.
Yeah, so a good breakfast is helpful, and a good
Even if
breakfast.
it's just a banana, I tell them.
That's right, you know, and that's where they can get their fruit.
Yeah.
That's where they can get a protein,
Something, yeah.
and you know, get something in their system so that they're awake in school and they're not
Yeah.
hungry.
Absolutely. All right, doctor, thanks so much. Really helpful information, and thanks for settling that little debate for me. You're
welcome.
My kids probably aren't watching, but I'll tell them what you said for sure.
Okay.
Keith, back over to you.